Kia ora, thank you. Before I begin, I'd like to acknowledge the Indigenous culture and people of this territory. Before I begin, thank you very much for having me. Okay, well, this work is Landfall of a Spectre. It came after a previous lenticular photograph of horses, a work which I kind of stumbled upon, and this soon came out afterwards from. I had to, I had agreed to, no, I'll simplify this story actually. I do have this big interest in the history of photography, film, and that has sort of led me into a much deeper history of optics and its placement in the history of art, from optical things such as a hole in the wall discovered in the 4th century BC in China, which fortunately they had a written language and were able to document this, and projecting the image of the world upside down on an opposite wall. That of course developed into the camera obscura, the camera lucida, with the use of the development of lenses, and through the history of painting, of course, these tools get incorporated, and finally photography gets developed, and representational art reaches a level that revolutionizes the representation of the world and people in it. This work it is a still image that as my friend said, it's a lenticular photograph, which is composed of, it's a composite of 2 photographs put together. They are sliced and then presented in one frame with a surface added to it that tricks the eye into perceiving movement. I like to bring in the apparatus of cinema and other devices into my work, and I want for it to be apparent that there is a sleight of hand at work. For me, that is acknowledging that there is work going on behind what you are seeing, and and I like the play on the idea of the moving image that is in this work and other works before it. For me also, there's a historical reference to the work of Jean-Luc Godard with a character he developed in one of his films, Dr. Von Braun from Alphaville, who was represented in the film simply as a photograph. I think it may have been nothing more than a model's portrait, studio portrait, that simply would end up on someone's desk while they were out looking for an actor to fit a role. And I feel, I could be wrong, that Godard simply found this, shuffled it around on his desk and decided that would be Dr. Von Braun, this hideous character, and who was more talked about than actually seen. And so I just thought that was hilarious and so smart and incredibly cool. And so the idea of moving an image, a still image in front of my camera, was my homage to him. And so here you see a ship. It was the object was given to me as a gift by a friend, and I sat with it for quite a while before working out how I was going to make this work. It was quite difficult actually, because there was not a lot of space around. The ship actually occupies most of the frame, so there's not a lot of room for error, and so I had to I basically held the image in one hand and my camera in the other, and I moved them both around at the same time, so it's quite tricky to not exit the frame and then break that, there's a term for it that I can't recall, but essentially you break the suspension of disbelief, and I was found it quite difficult to. So this is why it's all quite close up. I'm really sort of getting stuck into this thing, and after seeing a film, Robinson Crusoe, I realised that in the 40s Hollywood cinema, actually all you needed was a little bit of information to be able to place your audience exactly where they might be, and so I had that in mind. And as you'll see, hopefully fairly soon, there's these shafts of light that come down from above. Here you are, there's one there. They sort of flick across the screen, they slide across the screen. That is the only light source that I had in a dark room, and it just collects the surface of the print quite beautifully to me. It's quite raw. It disappears and then it comes back in again as the work comes in and out of focus, and just gives these allusions to a light source coming from somewhere. It also, for me personally, is a homage also to Ghost Ship by Jason Gregg, a friend of mine. When I was making these works, I had Jason's monoprints in mind a lot while making this work.